Welcome back. Here I am again, picking up the book of Exodus today. I'm going to be reading chapters 3 and 4, maybe even 5, depending on how it goes. So let me not waste any time. I'm going to hop right into this. Moses and the burning bush. Now, I've heard this story. I've seen the King of Egypt movie back when I was a child, and then again when I was an adult. Um, and I will say, not all of this is lining up verbatim. There was a lot more of a relationship between the Prince of Egypt at the time, that who eventually ascends to the throne, and Moses, and that's just not really in the book. So that must be all um, extra, all lies. So let's go ahead and get started. Moses and the burning bush. Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he left the flock, led the flock to the far side of the wilderness, and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in flames of fire form within a bush. Moses saw that the bush was on fire; it did not burn up. No, Moses saw that though the bush was on fire, it did not burn up. So Moses thought, "I will go over there and see this strange sight. Why the bush does not burn up?" So there's that redundancy again. If you watch my big breakdown of Genesis, which actually no one has, I talk about that theme of redundancy. When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, "Moses, Moses!" And Moses said, "Here I am." "Do not come any closer," God said. "Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." Then he said, "I am God, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob." At this, Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God. Then the Lord said, "I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I've heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I'm concerned about their suffering. So I've come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians, and bring them up out of that land into a good and spacious land, and a land flowing with milk and honey, the home of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites." That almost sounds like parasites, but Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. "And now the cry of the Israelites has reached me, and I have seen the way that the way the Egyptians are oppressing them. So now, go. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt." So why doesn't God just go do it himself? God is apparently showing up to this man in this state of fire. Why not go? You can do this. And you send plagues later on, so why not go deal with them? I don't know. It's a weird. You're omnipotent. You're all powerful, but you need a guy to do this for you. I don't know. I don't know. It's very odd to me that that's the case. But Moses said to God, "Who am I? No, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" And God said, "I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this mountain." Moses said to God, "Suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them, 'The God of your fathers has sent me to you,' and they ask me, 'What is his name?' Then what shall I tell him? Then what shall I tell them?" God said to Moses, "I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you." God also said to Moses, "Say to the Israelites, the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, the name you shall call me from generation to generation." Go now. I want to pause right there too, because we're not actually given a specific name, but I have definitely heard before that this original translation here, whenever they're saying "I am who I am," and or God's referring to himself, I've heard that he's saying that he's either A, Jehovah, or Yahweh. I don't know. I really don't know. Either or. I've heard both. So if somebody could clear that up for me in the comments, that'd be great. So go assemble the elders of Israel and say to them, the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, appeared to me and said, I have watched over you and have seen what you have done, what has been done to you in Egypt. I have promised to bring you up out of your misery in Egypt into the land of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, a land flowing with milk and honey. The elders of Israel will listen to you. Then you and the elders are to go to the king of Egypt and say to him, the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has met with us. Let us take a 3-day journey into the wilderness to offer sacrifices to the Lord our God. But I know that the king of Egypt will not let you go unless a mighty hand compels him. So I'll stretch out my hand and strike the Egyptians with all the wonders that I will perform among them. After that, he will let you go. And I will make the Egyptians favorably disposed towards his people. So, sorry, let me reread that one more time because I read that wrong. And I will make the Egyptians favorably disposed towards this people, so that when you leave, you will not go empty-handed. Every woman is to ask her neighbor and any woman living in her house for articles of silver and gold and for clothing, which you will put on your sons and daughters. Also, you will plunder the Egyptians. So that is chapter 3. Let's go to chapter 4. It says, signs for Moses. So as Moses answered, what if they do not believe me or listen to me and say, the Lord did not appear to you? So this is a little weird, just a little bit weird. I figured that these two passages would be contained in the same chapter. It breaks them up. Like this is one subsequent sequence of events. So why split them up? It's a little weird for me. But anyway, I'm going to continue on. What if they do not believe me or listen to me and say, the Lord did not appear to you? The Lord said to him, what is that in your hand? A staff, he replied. The Lord said, throw it on the ground. Then Moses threw it on the ground and it became a snake. He ran from it. Then the Lord said to him, reach out your hand and take it by the tail. So Moses reached out and took a hold of the snake, and it turned back into a staff in his hand. This, said the Lord God, is so that they may believe that the Lord, the God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has appeared to you. Then the Lord said, put your hand inside your cloak. So Moses put his hand inside his cloak, and when he took it out, the skin was leprous. It had become white as snow. Now put it back into your cloak, he said. So Moses put his hand back into his cloak, and when he took it out, it was restored like the rest of his flesh. Then the Lord said, if they do not believe you or pay attention to the first sign, they may believe the second. But if they do not believe these 2 signs or listen to you, take some water from the Nile, pour it on the dry ground. The water you take from the river will become blood on the ground. Moses said to the Lord, pardon your servant, Lord. I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor since I have spoken to nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue. Then the Lord said to him, who gave human beings their mouths? Who makes them deaf or mute? Who gives them sight or makes them blind? It is not I, is it not I, the Lord? Now go, and I will help you speak, and I will teach you what to say. But Moses said, pardon your servant, Lord. Please send someone else. Moses sucks. I don't. This is not what I know. Moses sucks. But God, please, God, no, not me, anyone but me. I can't talk. What if they don't listen? Oh, please, someone else. Anyway. Then the Lord's anger burned against Moses, and he said, what about your brother, Aaron the Levite? I know he can speak well. He's already on his way to meet you, and he will be glad to see you. You shall speak to him and put words in his mouth. I will help both of you speak and will teach you what to do. He will speak to you. He will speak to the people for you, and it'll be as if. Excuse me. It's early. He will speak to the people for you, and it will be as if your mouth was, no, as if he were your mouth. It is as if you were God to him. But take this staff in your hand so you can perform the signs with it. Moses returns to Egypt. Here we go. It says, Then Moses went back to Jethro, his father-in-law, and said to him, Let me return to my own people in Egypt to see if any of them are still alive. Jethro said, Go, and I wish you well. Now the Lord had said to Moses in Midian, Go back to Egypt, for all those who wanted to kill you are dead. So Moses took his wife and sons, put them on a donkey, and started back to Egypt. And he took the staff of God in his hand. The Lord said to Moses, When you return to Egypt, see that you perform before Pharaoh all the wonders I have given you the power to do. But I will harden his heart so that he will not let the people go. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? That sounds awfully convenient. It sounds to me like he wasn't convinced, and this is a retro statement here. But let's continue on. I will harden his heart so that he will not let the people go. Then say to Pharaoh, This is what the Lord says. Israel is my firstborn, and I told you, Let my son go so he may worship me. But you refused to let him go, so I will kill your firstborn son. So God hardens his heart so that he will not listen to the words of God, and then punishes him because he hardened his heart so he would not listen by killing all their firstborn sons. So God causes the reason why this man needs to be punished. How is that just? How is that a righteous act? That's like me giving somebody an apple that I know was stolen, so that when I come back later, I'm like, aha, we found the thieves. There's the apple they stole. They say, no, well, you gave me this. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. You stole it. Or I don't even answer with no, I didn't. It doesn't matter. Seize them. They stole this apple. That's exactly what that sounds like. And I know an apple is a terrible euphemism or a comparison, but they're stealing something, but I originally gave it to them. I enabled them to steal it from me, and now I'm going to charge them, or at least try to have them penalized because they stole from me. What? That's exactly what God's doing here. God's saying, I'm going to harden his heart so he won't listen to you, and then I'm going to kill his son because he didn't listen to you. What? Oh, goodness sake. At a lodging place on the way, the Lord met Moses, and he was about to kill him. But Zipporah took a flint knife, cut off her son's foreskin, and touched Moses' feet with it. Ugh. Then Moses told Aaron, oh, wait, where was I definitely skipped. Where did here we go. Surely you are a bridegroom of blood to me, she said. So the Lord left him alone. At that time, she said, bridegroom of blood, referring to circumcision. The Lord said to Aaron, Go into the wilderness to meet Moses. So he met Moses at the mountain of God and kissed him. Then Moses told Aaron everything the Lord had sent him to say, and also about all the signs he had commanded him to perform. Moses and Aaron brought together all the elders of the Israelites, and Aaron told them everything the Lord had said to Moses. Excuse me again, I'm tired. And they believed. Oh, wait, where was I? Moses and Aaron brought together all the elders of the Israelites, and Aaron told them everything the Lord had said to Moses. He also performed the signs before the people, and they believed. And when they heard that the Lord was concerned about them and had seen their misery, they bowed down and worshipped. Okay, so that ends chapter 4. And you know what? For good measure, I'm going to go ahead and read chapter 5 because there really wasn't a lot to this. So it says, bricks without straw. Afterward, Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and said, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Let my people go so that they may hold a festival to me in the wilderness." Pharaoh said, "Who is the Lord that I should obey and let? Who is the Lord that I should obey him and let Israel go? I do not know the Lord, and I will not let Israel go." Then they said, "The God of the Hebrews has met with us. Now let us take a 3-day journey into the wilderness to offer sacrifices to the Lord our God, or he may strike us with plagues or with the sword." But the king of Egypt said, "Moses and Aaron, why are you taking the people away from their labor? Get back to your work." Then Pharaoh said, "Look, the people of the land are now numerous, and you are stopping them from working." So, sorry, you might hear my dog here in the background walking around on my hardwood ground with them claws. So anywho, that same day, Pharaoh gave this order to the slave drivers and overseers in charge of the people: "You are no longer to supply the people with straw for making bricks. Let them go and gather their own straw, but require them to make the same number of bricks as before. Don't reduce the quota. They are lazy. That is why they are crying out. Let us go sacrifice to our God." They make the work harder for the people so that they keep working and pay no attention to lies. That's pretty intense. Then the slave drivers and the overseers went out to the people and said, "This is what the Pharaoh says. I will not give you any more straw. Go ahead, go and get your own straw wherever you can find it, but your work will not be reduced at all." So the people scattered all over Egypt to gather stubbles to use for straw. The slave drivers kept pressing them, saying, "Complete the work required for you each day, just as when you had straw." And Pharaoh's slave drivers beat the Israelites overseers they had appointed, demanding, "Why haven't you met your quota of bricks yesterday or today or as before?" Then the Israelite overseer went and appealed to Pharaoh, "Why have you treated your servants this way? Your servants are given no straw, yet we're told, 'Make bricks.' Your servants are being beaten, but the fault is with your own people." Pharaoh said, "Lazy, that's what you are, lazy. That is why you keep saying, 'Let us go and sacrifice to the Lord.' Now get to work. You will not be given any straw, yet you must produce your full quota of bricks." The Israelite overseers realized they were in trouble when they were told, "You are not to reduce numbers of bricks required for each day." When they left Pharaoh, they found Moses and Aaron waiting for them, and they said, "May the Lord look on you and judge you. You have made us obnoxious to Pharaoh and his officials, and have put a sword in their hand to kill us." So actually, there's a little bit more of chapter 5. God promises deliverance. Right here, we'll finish this off, and then I have a few things to say. Moses returned to the Lord and said, "Why, Lord? Why have you brought trouble on this people? Is this why you sent me? Ever since I went to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has brought trouble on his people, and you have not rescued your people at all." I kind of have to read chapter 6 now because, again, these chapters are really broken up weird. They don't finish a complete section, they just break right in the middle of things. So at the beginning of chapter 6 here, actually, let me stop right there. Let me stop right there because I'll keep going. And it looks like chapter 7 does the exact same thing where it does not finish its thoughts. Or at least chapter 6 doesn't finish its thoughts, and then chapter 7 picks up. So I'm going to stop right there for today because I don't want to go down a rabbit hole. I have a couple things I want to say. At least I have one big thing I want to say. I know Pharaoh is depicted as harsh, cruel, and unreasonable in this section. However, given the previous statement that God said, "I'm going to harden his heart," we can only blame God for the mismanagement and the harsh management of the Israelites after Moses makes his initial plea to Pharaoh. That is a direct causality of God. And you cannot distinguish it any other way. You cannot say, "Well, actually, it's because of..." No. God literally says, I'm going to harden his hearts. I'm going to make it so he does not let them go. So what happens when this hardening is applied? Well, he decides, of course, to not let them go, but also to limit their resources and make them have the same outcome. This is a product of God. Okay? That's straightforward. So God is punishing his own people. Now, I don't know why he's punishing his own people. Maybe he'll have a reason for it. We'll have to see tomorrow. But with that, I hope you all have a lovely day, a blessed Sunday. It is the Sabbath day. I hope you all had a wonderful 4th of July weekend. See you next time. God bless.